I actually am in favor of the weighted staffing model. One of the things that I believe, however, is that we need to drive, as I just said just a couple of minutes ago, we need to drive control of the individual school to the individual school. And principals and teachers and parents, with parent-teacher organizations and community organizations, have to start to be the drivers of what happens in our school system. Here, everywhere across the country, but specifically here, we need to encourage and promote and drive that kind of partnership so that principals are empowered, teachers are empowered, parents are empowered, and are all working together, driving their school down the path that best meets the needs of their children. In a district this big, you can't have a single blanket policy that covers all of the schools in this district. It's a massive, massive school district. Too large, in fact, but that's a legislative issue in Raleigh. And so, for me, it's really important that we make the people that are responsible for the resources empowered to dictate where the resources go and what they're used for.
How there's a lot of variation in the in schools in CMS, from schools that have very high-income families to schools that are concentrations of very low-income families. And how do you ensure that the education received by a child at any of those schools
right.
is comparable? You talk about the importance of parent involvement. Some parents work 3 jobs. How do you handle that in your model of individual schools?
The parent that works 3 jobs, having grown up in a broken family myself, my folks got divorced when I was 12. My mom worked 2 and 3 jobs. I was the oldest of 3 boys. So I understand what that's like. But I also know that even though my mom worked multiple jobs and wasn't always home, there was an expectation, and there was an example that was set, and there were requirements that were there. So I think that a parent doesn't have to be actually in the school to be engaged, but parents have to be engaged. To the point of how do we deal with schools that have different economic statuses of their population. One of the things that I believe is that we need to be driving under the approach and the mentality that every child wants to be successful. Every parent wants their child or children to be successful every single time. No kid goes to school wanting to fail. No parent is not as actively engaged as they want to be because they don't want to be. There are extraneous factors sometimes that happen. And that our approach and our mentality needs to be to deliver the highest quality educational experience to every child, no matter where they live, no matter what color their skin, no matter what their socioeconomic background. We need to be delivering the best education, period, to every child, period.
How do you do that? I mean, do you supply more resources to schools that lack them? How do you?
Again, we do it first by empowering at the individual school level. The principals and the teachers and the parents, they know what they need. So instead of just throwing a number and saying this school gets this amount, this school gets that amount, and you're going to have this many teachers to students here, you're going to have that many students to teachers there, and making it from the high-level administrative level, I want those decisions made at the school level. Because
so each principal would then say, I need X number of teachers?
Yeah, and given some general parameters, I think it's okay for a principal to come and say, you know what, in 3rd grade, I know that that's been a problem, for example, and I want to have a 12-to-1 student-teacher ratio. That may have an impact of 18-to-1 the following year, or 20-to-1 in 5th grade. But I want to give our educators some leeway and some empowerment to be able to get involved in making those decisions. And my overriding belief is that we can't spend enough money on the things that really work. And we have to absolutely stop spending money on the things that don't work. And today in this community and in this country, we have major division. Folks on the left of the political spectrum say, we don't spend enough money on education. And people on the right say, we're spending too much on education. And it becomes this kind of mantra that people follow. The problem is, nobody really knows. Nobody knows. Are we spending too much? Are we not spending enough? How do we know? And so to that end, we need to do the work, and we need to dig into all of our programs and all of our expenditures, and we need to identify. Big shipping company, Maersk. This is one of the things that they do, is they identify every line item and every expenditure, whether it's failing to meet expectations, meeting expectations, or exceeding expectations. We need to do that here. That will dictate and guide a lot of where we need to spend our money. We need to take, if a program is working at school A, we need to take that program and fully fund it and expand it as far and wide across the district as we can. We'll solve a lot of our monetary issues by doing that, because we'll know what works, we'll be spending money on the things that work, and we won't be spending money on the things that aren't being effective. And it's my belief that there's not a parent or a taxpayer on any side of the equation, philosophically, that would be against stopping the spending of money on things that aren't working and expanding the spending of money on things that are working.